YouTubers. This is Jonesy, your internet Power Wheels battery ride-on guru for short. Anyways, today on the bench we've got a Razor brand crazy cart. This is the basic version. They actually make 3 different ones. They actually have a deluxe, which has some nice features on it, and we will definitely try to get our hands on one of those. But we're going to focus on this one today, and we will note some of the differences. So you saw my little mini hoonigans take the unboxing part of the video for me, and here it is. It is fully assembled, but in the instructions it does make recommendations to air up the tubeless pneumatic tire. And where you're going to find that, it's the front wheel here in the middle. This is what drives the motor and your steering. This guy right here is really, it's basically flat. It's not even seated on the rim. So if you guys aren't comfortable or familiar with figuring this out, we're going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, as you can see here in the instructions, under assembly and setup, it says inflating the tire. They have a picture of a bike pump, which will work great. This is the little Schrader valve that you're going to have to remove the cap, just like on your car. So you're going to remove that, and if you have a bike pump, you're going to clamp that on there whichever way. But you can see that this guy is totally flat. So first step is going to be put some air in this. We use tools here in the shop. We have a big old air compressor, so we are going to use that. Now if it's really flat, you might have to actually hold it so that the tube doesn't just push right in. Alright, now you can see we've got some air in there, and they call for 36 pounds of pressure. So that's what you guys want to put in it, is 36 pounds of pressure. You don't want to put too much, you can rupture the tire. And also it's probably going to provide a lack of traction because it's going to be, doesn't have a good contact patch. So, alright, that's step 1, guys. That's putting air in the tire. Put the cap back on, and since it's flipped upside down, like I mentioned, this is the basic version, and all it has is these literal, probably Delrin bumpers, and in the deluxe version it actually has casters on here so that when you hit a bump or when it rocks from having weight transfer and stuff, we're definitely going to look into customizing this, or even looking to see what the cost is for replacement deluxe wheels. I have a feeling they're not going to be cheap, probably like 25 bucks a piece. I totally have no idea, I haven't even researched it yet. We just wanted to get our hands on these, and if you go online, since this is November, we got a smoking deal. Each one of these was $150 off. We bought 4 of them, so you do the math. We saved quite a bit of money. We don't get paid by anybody to do these reviews. This was just kind of something that the kids were interested in, and I think we're going to make some pretty cool videos. So stay tuned for those modifications. But okay, so we got the air in the tire, and the next thing, it's even got tags on here that tells you to stop before first use. Charge the battery for at least 12 hours. Guys, that doesn't make any sense. It comes with a wall charger, and the specs on it is it puts out 24 volts because this is a 24 volt ride-on at 600 milliamp hours. Now that's pretty slow, but if the batteries are small, you can't put a lot of volt or amps through them, so that's probably in line. So what you're going to want to do first thing, especially if this is for Christmas, guys, this is the charge port right here. It's got a little dust cap. you're going to pop that off, and it's got a little tab on here. So instead of just a circle, it's got a notch taken out. You line that up with a charge port. So you're going to get that plugged into that all the way, and then you're going to plug this end into the wall charger. Now when you do that, it's going to be red, means it's charging. When it's full capacity, it's going to be green, means it's fully charged. Now if that means that it stops outputting voltage, I don't know that. I'm going to do some further testing. I'll probably do a long-term review on this product. So you want to do that. So 12 hours, you can't say that it needs to be charged for 12 hours because once it's green, it's going to stop charging. So I'll figure that one out. So that's charge port. Now here is the on-off switch. So when the kids get in here, actually you can turn this on and off from sitting in the seat. So you're going to turn it on, and on the steering wheel, below the steering wheel, I should say, the center console here, it's got this little push button. Now, what they say to do is to have this pressed into the down position. That disables your Hall effect or variable speed throttle. Now, why do they have that? For reliability, so that if a kid's getting in here and he presses this, it doesn't take off with him and throw him off the back. So once he's sitting down and he's all buckled up, they're going to press this, and it gives it power. So when you're done, you're supposed to push that, disabling this, and then turn the unit off. And then you're also going to want to charge this up. These are sealed lead acid batteries. You're going to want to charge this after every use. You can't really damage it other than if you over discharge this. So it's pretty much ready to ride. We can get these tags off of here. We've just got to get it charged up, and then this thing's good to go. This right here is the crazy cart feature. When you pull this up, it does crazy drifts where this thing will sit here and do complete donuts. My boys have ridden the ones we have charged up and ready to go. To be honest, they're not that great at it. They've done some destruction in the crazy mode. I guess that's a good time to talk about that. Overall, this is a great little unit. I love that it's got a built-in charge port. It's a full steel chassis. It's 100% steel. Now, there's a couple negatives that I found, and we've literally only put 2 battery chargers through these. And you're going to get about a half-hour run time, because once you get in these, you're pretty much full on. So one of the negatives that we have found in the design is this right here is a plastic cover, and if you guys are out doing what kids do, crashing into each other or crashing into you could hit a curb or anything like that. But what happened is we set up a crazy 8 figure 8 course. One was coming, and then one was coming, and they actually, the metal chassis hit this right here and broke it clean off. And when it broke this off, it made the gas pedal just flopping around. So we actually had to do a repair for that, and here is the way that we repaired it. It broke the tabs right off, so we just drilled through in 3 spots where the tabs used to be, and we just put 1024 by 1 inch screws, sheet metal screws, through that with the nut facing up, and that holds it in place. Long term, we know that that's going to happen again, so what we're probably going to do is we're going to fabricate casters with some type of built-in bumper down here, or maybe something coming down, but guaranteed that that's going to get broken again on another unit. And if that one breaks where we bolted it, that might be it. The other, I guess I can't call it negative, but what you're going to have to do is, they were out drifting it or driving it or whatever, and one of the dang rear wheels just fell off. He ended up skidding to a stop. So this right here was loose. It says to take a 26 millimeter flat wrench. Basically, it's one of those bicycle wrenches that's really, really super narrow. We just took channel locks on the outside of this. I don't know if that's eight sides. Looks like an octagon shape, and we just tighten it down. If it happens again, we're going to take some red Loctite and just Loctite these in, because all it is a bolt. You could probably take a wrench right here, but that does not look like 26 millimeter. I know that that looks like 26 millimeter, and it does actually have a lock washer here. It's still loosened up on them. So just be on the lookout for that. Definitely, along with airing up the tires, just tighten down all these bolts. So that's pretty much the overall operation of the unit. Now I think we should talk about what's underneath the hood. Okay, we're going to get into some technical stuff here on the Crazy Cart. We've already talked about the operation of it. Now, what happens if you guys have one that's not working or you need to replace batteries? All of the electronics are underneath this cover, and to get access to this, you actually need to remove the seat. The seat's pretty easy to remove. It is removed by a Allen head wrench, or bolt, I should say, and it's a 5 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. And the nice thing about this is there's no nuts on the underside. They're literally welded into place on the bottom of the chassis. So that's pretty cool that they're just threaded tabs in there. So just take the seat and put it off to the side. That gets you access to the electronics cover. That still takes the same 5 millimeter Allen head wrench or bolt. The one difference is this actually does have nuts on the bottom side. They're lock nuts and they're 10 millimeter. So you're going to need to put a wrench on the bottom of that. Okay, and then once you've got your nuts removed, this is actually on a hinge. There's a little slot over here, so this is going to hinge up, and you're going to wiggle it loose, and it's something you can't just take and put off to the side because it's got the connections for the charge port and the 2 wires for the power switch. Basically, there's power coming from the battery into the switch and then out to the switch that goes into the controller. There is this quick disconnect for the battery charge port, but you would actually have to remove these female tabs, but you can, and then you can put this off to the side. So here's the bones of it. This is a speed controller, this little box with all the wires coming out of it. It's a 24 volt, 30 amp speed controller. It does not have how many watts it puts out. I'm gonna guess 250. It's a pretty standard unit. It's got average gauge wire. This is 14 gauge wire for the motor. It's actually bigger than the motor wires. If you look at the motor wires here, they look like they're 16 gauge. So this controller shouldn't be the weak link. It shouldn't get hot here. But the motor wires here, a little bit smaller. So if this motor burns out, you can technically upgrade that to, like, say, a 400 or 500 watt motor, but then you're probably going to be limited by the controller, so you'd want to upgrade that too. Because that's what we do here at CKC, is we take things and we make them cooler and better. So the other connectors that are here, this is the motor connector. It's a quick disconnect. that disables the unit. And talking about that, why don't we go ahead and remove the batteries and talk about those. So those actually take a 4mm Allen head bolt, and these do not have a nut on the bottom, so these come right out. So once you remove the battery hold down bracket, be careful not to short out on any of the battery leads. So just take the whole unit and just slide it off to the side. Since we already removed the quick disconnect for the battery, that gives us access right to the battery pack. So this is what powers this unit. There's 2 batteries wired in series. They are a 4.5 amp hour capacity. Well, what's that mean? Basically, amp hour is a gas tank. The bigger the number, the more runtime you're going to get. These batteries will put out 1 amp for 4.5 hours, and then it's done. It's out of gas. You can replace this with a little bit bigger units that are actually the same size, and we have these Gruber Power Services. This is actually a 6 amp hour battery. I don't know how many percentage that is, but we're going from a 4.5 amp hour capacity to a 6 amp hour capacity. So it's 1.5 amp hour of more runtime. We've gotten about a half hour of runtime out of this, so I can't really complain, but believe it or not, these actually might provide a little bit more oomph too. It's a better quality battery, and more capacity usually has less voltage sag. So when you give that gas full speed, there is going to be for sure voltage loss because the battery is being drained rapidly right off the get-go. And then once that motor gets up to its happy RPM, the voltage will balance back out. So we're just going to do this right away. This is going to be my 11-year-old's racer, because we seriously are going to do some racing here, guys. We're going to do indoor racing, probably get like a neighborhood point series going, and then obviously when the weather's warmer, we're going to do outdoor racing. So now that we've got this all apart, and I've talked about what we're already going to do is upgrading this, these stock ones, it would not be a bad idea to actually balance charge these. Well, what's balancing charge, Jonesy? Here on our workbench, we've got a multi-port RC battery charger with a dedicated power source, and we've got the stock chargers here, and we're going to charge them independently. And what we've done is we've actually taken out the fuse so that it's just 12 volts and 12 volts. They don't see each other, so definitely don't want to charge those with the connectors in series. You might cause some magic smoke on your charger. And we like these multi-port ones, so thought this would be some good information for you guys. So hopefully you learned something. We've got a voltmeter sitting here, and these batteries actually are date coded on here. 2015, looks like September 8th of 2015, these batteries were born, birthed, created. Every time that I get a unit that's more than 1 battery, I want to balance charge them. So we're going to put this in DC volts, and probably not going to be able to see this on the video, but we're going to do a little negative to positive on one and check the voltage. 12.75 on battery 1. Battery 2. If I could keep it on there and look. Okay, 12.77. What was this one again? 12.75. So guys, that's pretty impressive. It's 2/100ths of a volt difference. I'd be fine with just sticking that on the charger and calling it good. Hopefully this video was informative to you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments about this crazy cart, leave them in the comment section below. We're going to wrap this up, so please keep the comments coming, the positive ones. And don't forget to subscribe, and if you know somebody that might like this video, please share it. Alright, thanks for watching. We got the Jones boys on their crazy carts, and we got a Crazy 8 course set up. There's the ding dong. Alright guys, let's see what we can do. Try not to kill each other. Andy Mark, get set, go. Close match there. Oh, nice avoidance. You needed a yellow flag on that. The youngest one, he needs a little practice. We have no idea how many laps we're doing. We didn't discuss that. Got one off the course. One off the course. Drag the cones. Oh, it's gonna destroy that cone. Oh, spit it out. Holy moly. Who's in the lead?